I use the dumb phone for 100 days. It has a super simplistic interface, everything is in black and white, and it also has a cracked screen because I accidentally let it drop. However, after using it for 100 days, I was not only surprised with my experience using it, but especially with my choice of phone moving forward. But to make this video a lot more valuable, we have to go back to where everything started. I just moved out to study at Manthei University and was committed to finally make the most of my time. Yet, here I was, mindlessly scrolling on my phone and wasting my time. And I was really upset at myself, like a lot. And on one day where I was especially unproductive, I thought enough and went on a big dopamine detox. I deleted most apps, left my phone home most of the days, but even though I was more productive and also more focused, after a while I was also a lot less joyful and felt more disconnected to my friends. So I installed just a few more apps, was just a tiny bit more on my phone, and you guessed it, was right back where I started. But I also realized that pretty much every person I knew also was using a phone more than they would like. And after really digging into the topic, I discovered a system that anybody can use to spend less time on their phone, but also break pretty much any other bad habit. Here's how it works. Imagine there are 3 different types of people. And the first one never allows cookies in their home, the second one always has some tasty cookies in the storage room, and the last one is even more extreme and always has some cookies in his pockets. Which of those 3 do you think will eat the most amount of cookies? Exactly, the third. But that's also the reason that no matter how much willpower we have, if we always have our phone in the pockets, we're just going to use it a lot more than we would like. But then the other extreme of completely getting rid of your smartphone also doesn't really work for most people. Meaning it's about finding the sweet spot in the middle. And for this, the most crucial thing is to find the perfect restriction. Installing an app timer where you can press plus 15 minutes after the time limit is over doesn't really work for most people. But using a code that only a friend of yours knows might be the perfect sweet spot. Deleting social media might not work for some people because they're just going to install it again. But having an internet flat of only 750 megabytes where you cannot even use social media once you're outside, again, might be the perfect restriction. And because this is so important, pause this video just for a second and think of one creative restriction that might be perfect for you. And if each of us comments just this one thing down below, no matter how simple or obvious it might seem, together we can create the ultimate bank of ideas to finally stop wasting time on our phone. Which brings us back to the dumb phone, because I tried out if this might be the perfect restriction for me. Here's what I did. I downloaded an app called Minimalist Phone, which unfortunately costs something right now, but there's also an app called Overlauncher. If you're an Apple, it's a bit more complicated, but I added the descriptions below. And then all I did was to also delete all social media apps. And that's it. And the first week using it, I was really positively surprised by how well it worked. My phone time directly dropped down to around 1 hour without me trying, but I could still use it for valuable tasks, for messaging friends on WhatsApp or using Google Maps to not get lost in the city. Something that might seem obvious, but for instance Manthei that used this fun-looking dumb phone was struggling to text, couldn't really use Google Maps, and once even had to print a QR code because, well, his phone couldn't open it. However, I experienced none of those downsides. You know the moment when you just want to check one thing on your phone, but then get lost for 20-30 minutes? Well, for maybe the first time ever, I could actually consistently just check 1 or 2 things on my phone and then get back to studying or working. And I was not only less distracted, I could also focus better, I was more motivated to work, and surprisingly I also slept better because in the evening I couldn't really use my phone when setting up an audiobook, which I still do even though I'm 24 years old. And this continued for the next 40-50 days. I really didn't expect that it was so, effortless. Probably the best word to describe it. So moving forward, and something I didn't really expect, I'm actually gonna stick to my dumb phone. And if you really want to stop wasting time in all areas of your life, then I recommend you to watch this video where I talk about how you can find the perfect morning routine.